My Capstone by Nicholas Walker.
Proposal. For my capstone theme, I decided to do a personal story. I decided to do a personal story because I feel like this story in particular was an influential point during my childhood and helped me discover what I'm interested in. The topic of my capstone presentation will be based on the multiple injuries I have endured during my childhood and how they have helped me towards discovering what I'm interested in. My mentor for the capstone is Dr. David Olson, who owns a chiropractic clinic at Edgemont Village. The evidence for my capstone is the tearing of my hip flexor and sartorius strand, as well as the many sports therapy sessions I had to go through to become healthy. I will dive into my core competencies later on during the presentation. Growing up, soccer was always one of my main hobbies. Whether it was coaching, mentoring, or playing, I pretty well grew up on the pitch. I started playing soccer when I was 3 and I have played ever since. I was able to gain a lot of talent while playing on Bowen, which allowed me to play at higher levels when I transferred to the mainland. I started my Metro career in September of 2017. This was very important to me because it was the first time I was playing soccer at a high level. In October of that same year, during a game against South Surrey, I wound up to take a shot. I swung my leg in a forward motion to make contact with the ball. At the same time, a defender's knee collided perfectly with my hip, causing my sartorius muscle to rip straight off the bone in my hip, leaving the entire right side of my body in shock. After a few weeks, I was still unable to walk or move my arms, and I was convinced that I would have to have surgery. I had gone to physio many times, and they had attempted to reconnect the muscle with the bone by using needles, but this was unsuccessful. After about 2 months of not being able to walk, I booked an appointment with my dad's chiropractor. During my first visit, he knew what was wrong within 2 minutes of me entering the room. He made the readjustments, and within 2 weeks, the muscle had reconnected with the bone and the healing started. After about a year, I was finally able to start playing soccer again. After the healing had occurred, I was fascinated by the effect readjustment can have on the body. Not only was he able to heal my hip, but he also removed my migraines, which I was previously having every month. The field interested me so much because of all the negative opinions people had towards chiropractors. I had read many times online about the fear of being paralyzed after a readjustment. Before my chiropractic experience, I was convinced that I wanted to go into engineering, but after my appointment, I completely changed my courses around for grade 12 and started to look towards anatomy and physiology classes, and I even took some sports therapy courses outside of school. I found myself super interested in the studies because it was such a pivotal aspect of my life that I could now use while learning. Before chiropractic, I had no knowledge of the topic, but as of today, I have had over 30 appointments, and I have also worked with patients with my doctor, which has allowed me to gain experience in the field and enhance my knowledge towards the subject. For paid employment, I've worked at Safeway for 3 years and a landscaping company. These 2 opportunities have also been very influential aspects of my career choice. While working, I've been able to watch many of my coworkers wrongly pick up a box and squeak their back or slip down the stairs, causing a bone misalignment. This has allowed me to gain understanding about how ordinary people end up in the chiropractor's office and how simple remedies in their everyday life can help. I have also volunteered as a soccer coach, which has allowed me to educate younger kids about the importance of taking care of your body and how you can prevent injuries. There are still hundreds of more skills I would like to learn about the topic, but in particular, right now, I'm looking into neck trauma and how misalignment in the bones can cause heart attacks and migraines. The greatest influence for my post-secondary plans would be my mentor, Dr. Olson. He has allowed me to work in his office alongside him when dealing with patients and has taken me to coffee many times to help explain the education chiropractors have to go through and how to properly deal with patients who are in physical pain. He has suggested a mixture between biology, physiology, and chemistry in university, as this is my best way to get into chiropractic school after university. I met Dr. Olson when I was little because my dad had constant neck pain, but it wasn't until my hip injury 3 years ago that him and I started discussing the role of chiropractors. I also believe Dr. Olson will continue to help me with guidance in the future and has already suggested that an internship in his office in the future would be very beneficial for the both of us. Next year, I will be studying biochemistry at the University of Victoria. I will be taking an array of chemistries, anatomy, physiology, and many psychologies. Once I get my bachelor's degree, I am planning to apply to chiropractic schools in Portland and Toronto, where I will be able to get my license and start working. I believe my injury was single-handedly the greatest influence towards my post-secondary plans. I also believe taking biology, physics, and AP chemistry this year in high school will give me a head start into university next year. I believe these 6 core competencies have been my greatest assets and will stay with me in the future, starting with questioning and investigating. Questioning and investigating has given me the opportunity to build strong relationships with my chiropractor and gain lots of knowledge around the profession. Personal strength and abilities have allowed me to continue playing soccer today and has increased my interest in the subject. If I never had the strength to continue and to push myself harder, I would have never been able to get over the injury and become curious about the profession of chiropractic. Connecting and engaging with others has allowed my peers to encourage me to follow my passions and to continue to become better. Reflecting on experiences and accomplishments has also been a great way for me to learn about my own emotions. I commonly used to see bad things in my life that I would just assume were horrible, but I soon realized that a lot of the time the bad things that occurred in my life were also the most influential for my learning. This philosophy has allowed me to gain a strong grasp on my emotions and has allowed me to stay positive even during hardship. Thank you for listening.